Hello friends, welcome to Neetved Bioscience. Today we will continue our discussion on electron transport chain. Okay. In my previous lecture, we had discussed that whatever the reducing agent like NADH, FADH2 which we are getting in the various catabolic pathway, these are actually the electron carriers. Okay. So these electron carriers will donate its electron to electron transport chain which are arranged in a increasing order of their redox potential. Okay, so it will donate its electron here in the electron transport chain, and which will ultimately result in the transport of the proton from matrix to intermembrane space, and those proton molecules it will again come back into the matrix region, it will generate ATP. Okay, that we had discussed in a briefly. Okay, today we will continue our discussion and we will talk about the electron transport chain. Okay. Okay, so what is electron transport chain? It is actually the protein complexes, 4 protein complexes, complex 1, 2, 3 and 4. These protein complexes embedded in the inner membrane of mitochondria. We all know that mitochondria, it is a double membranous structure. Okay, so suppose this is the outer membrane of mitochondria, this is the inner membrane of mitochondria. The region between the outer membrane and inner membrane is known as the intermembrane space, and the region below inner membrane is known as a matrix region. Okay, so the matrix region is covered by the inner membrane, then the intermembrane space and then the outer membrane. Okay, so electron transport chain present in the inner membrane of mitochondria. Actually, these protein complexes are embedded in the lipid bilayer. Okay, so these are the component of electron transport chain. Okay, there are 4 protein complexes. Okay, now we will see how electron will pass from the one complex to another and how it will help in the generation of ATP. So first we will talk about the complex 1. Complex 1, which is also known as NADH dehydrogenase. Complex 1, which is also known as a NADH dehydrogenase. Okay, so complex 1, it is known as a NADH dehydrogenase. So complex 1 will accept the electrons from NADH. Okay, because the energy level of the complex 1 will match the, or we can say that the NADH will donate its electron to complex 1 because its energy level will match there. Therefore, the complex 1 will accept the electron from NADH. But the complex 2, the energy level of electron in FADH2 will not match with the complex 1. Therefore, FADH2 will donate its electron to complex 2. Okay, so it will skip the complex 1. We will talk about here the complex 1. So, complex 1 has a 2 prosthetic groups, FMN and FES. FMN is flavin mononucleotide and FES is the iron sulfur clusters. There are 7 iron sulfur clusters are arranged in the complex 1. FMN, flavin mononucleotide, it is a coenzymes. Okay, therefore this complex also known as a flavoprotein. Okay, so now what will happen when NADH will donate its electron? Okay, so it will oxidize here. So NADH, after oxidizing, it will reduce to NAD plus. Okay, and these 2 electrons along with the hydrogen atoms will then pass to FMN. Okay, so this FMN, after accepting the 2 hydrogen and 2 electrons, so here it will reduce to FMNH2. Okay, FMNH2, it will reduce to FMNH2, and when this FMNH2 again it will oxidize. Okay, oxidation means the loss of electron. So it will pass its electrons to iron sulfur cluster. Yeah, so what will happen here? After accepting the electron, so ferric form will convert to ferrous form. Yeah, so this way the continuous cycle of oxidation reduction takes place. Again this will accept the electrons, will convert to ferric form, okay, and will donate to another FeS cluster. So this way continuous oxidation reduction will take place, and the electron will pass first from NADH to FMN, and from FMN to iron sulfur cluster. 7 iron sulfur clusters are there, and finally it will reach to coenzyme Q. So coenzyme Q, which is also known as a ubiquinone. Okay, after accepting the electrons and the hydrogen atoms, it will reduce, and reduced form of coenzyme Q is known as a ubiquinol. Ubiquinol. Okay, so from what is happening here actually in the complex 1, the electrons are transferring, or electrons, NADH are donating electrons, and finally it is coming to coenzyme Q. The coenzyme Q will accepting via complex 1. Okay, so from NADH, FMN, iron sulfur cluster, and coenzyme Q. Therefore the complex 1, it is also known as NADH coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. That is another name of complex 1. That is NADH coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. Okay, here we will write, how we will write the name of the complex. The one who is oxidizing, so the first we will write the compound which is oxidizing here, and then we will write the compound name which is reducing here. So first oxidation of NADH takes place here because NADH is donating the electron. So we will write first NADH, coenzyme Q is reducing. So NADH coenzyme Q oxidoreductase, it is a name of this complex 1. Okay, so this way we are getting our electrons and hydrogen up to coenzyme Q. Got it? So what will happen here, as these electrons are passing from one complex to another, there is a release of some sort of energy. Yeah, because if something is moving from the high energy level to low energy levels, okay, so there is a release of energy, will get a free energy here. Okay, and that free energy will be utilized to pump hydrogen ion, that is proton, from matrix region to intermembrane space. Okay, so what will happen here, when these electrons are moved from NADH to coenzyme Q, 4 protons will pass from matrix to intermembrane space. So here complex 1 is pumping the 4 proton from matrix to intermembrane space. Clear up to complex 1? Now complex 2. As I right now just I have mentioned that both are electron carriers. NADH is also electron carriers, FADH2 is also electron carriers, but the energy level of the electrons is differ. NADH has an electron which is having the high energy level, FADH2 has a low energy level electrons. So this low energy cannot match with the complex 1, therefore it will donate its electron to complex 2. It will skip complex 1. So the path for electron from FADH2 is 2, 3, 4, and for complex 1 is 1, 3, 4, because from 1 to coenzyme Q, and that coenzyme Q will directly come to complex 3. So don't get confused here. Again I am repeating. The electrons from NADH will follow the path from complex 1 to 3 to 4, and from the complex 2 it will follow the path from complex 2 to 3 to 4. So we'll see about the FADH2. So FADH2, the name of complex 2 is succinate dehydrogenase. So now let's talk about complex 2. The complex 2, the name of complex 2 is succinate dehydrogenase. Succinate dehydrogenase complex. Okay, if you remember the Krebs cycle, there was a one step where succinate was converted into fumarate, and the enzyme present was succinate dehydrogenase, and there we were getting one FADH2. FAD was converted to FADH2. So this is actually the same enzyme of Krebs cycle which is present here. Okay, so this enzyme complex actually share the both pathway, electron transport chain as well as Krebs cycle. Okay, so from that direct FADH2 will come here, and FADH2 will donate its electron to iron sulfur cluster, and from iron sulfur cluster, like complex 1, it will come to coenzyme Q. Okay, but okay, so the name of this complex 2 is also known as, because as I said that when succinate was converted to fumarate, okay, so initial the substance which is oxidizing here is a succinate, okay, and then succinate, so finally these hydrogenated electrons are coming to coenzyme Q in complex 2. Therefore the complex is also known as the succinate coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. Okay, remember the substance or the compound which is oxidizing, we need to write its name first. So here the compound which is oxidizing is a succinate, and the compound which is reducing is a coenzyme Q. Therefore the name of complex 2 is also known as a succinate coenzyme Q oxidoreductase, or also known as a succinate dehydrogenase. Okay, so up till now what we had seen, the NADH will donate its electron to complex 1, FADH2 will donate its electron to complex 2, and ultimately from complex 1 and complex 2 the electron will reach to coenzyme Q. What is coenzyme Q? It is the mobile element which is a lipid soluble. Okay, so it will act as a shuttle system. Okay, like it will accept the electron from complex 1 and transfer it to complex 3. Okay, again it will accept the electron from the complex 2 and it will transfer to complex 3. So it will act as a shuttle system, like shuttle vehicle which is present in a airport or large complex area. So it will act as a shuttle vehicle. The other prosthetic groups, these are permanently present, these are covalently bounded with the protein complexes, so it will not come out of this protein complex. Okay, and the coenzyme Q, again accepting the electrons and hydrogen atoms, it will reduce to coenzyme Q H2, which is known as a ubiquinol. Sorry, ubiquinol. Okay, this is ubiquinone. So ubiquinone will reduce to ubiquinol. Okay, clear up to complex 2. Now we'll talk about complex 3. Yeah, one more thing here, as we had already seen in the complex 1, the energy released during the transfer of the electrons, it will help in the transfer of the proton, or it will pump the proton from matrix to intermembrane space, means 4 protons we are getting here in the intermembrane space, but the energy released during the transfer of electron in the complex 2 is not sufficient to pump protons, therefore the no proton will pump here in the complex 2. Clear? Complex 2 will not pump any proton from matrix to intermembrane space, only complex 1 will pump 4 protons. Now complex 3. The name of complex 3 is cytochrome B(C)(1) complex. Okay. What is cytochrome? First we will see what is cytochrome. The cytochrome, these are the part of the protein complexes which is having the heme group. Okay. So the difference between the heme group of cytochrome and the heme group of hemoglobin is that here the ion which is present in the heme group, it will undergo into the oxidation reduction, that like we had discussed in the complex 1. So it will convert to ferrous to ferric and again ferrous to ferric. So this way it will transfer its electron, but the heme ion which is present in the heme of hemoglobin, it will always present in the reduced form. Okay. So cytochrome B(C)(1). There are 3 types of cytochrome, A, B, C. So these are named as per the its discovery. Okay. So cytochrome, and which is having the heme group, and ion present in heme groups will undergo into the oxidation and reductions that will help in the transfer of electrons. Okay. So from ubiquinol, the electron will be accepted by cytochrome B. Okay. Then from cytochrome B to iron sulfur cluster, and from iron sulfur cluster to cytochrome C1. Okay. So this way again by oxidation reductions, the path in the third complex 3 is from cytochrome B to iron sulfur, and so cytochrome C1, BFES C1. Okay. Here also the energy is released, and that energy will again pump 4 proton from matrix to intermembrane space. Got it? But the one more thing which we'll discuss in the next class is that the cytochromes is accept only the 1 electrons. Like here we had discussed that it is a 1-step process in the complex 1 and the complex 2, but the complex 3, the electrons will transfer in the 2-step, and that is known as a Q cycle. So about the Q cycle we'll discuss in a next class. You just remember something here, that from coenzyme Q, the cytochrome B, FES and the C1, and it will transfer the 4 protons from matrix to intermembrane space. Okay. So the name here, and from cytochrome C1 to ultimately cytochrome C, which is again the second shuttle system. The first shuttle system here is a coenzyme Q, which is shuttling between the 1 to 3 or 2 to 3, and the second shuttle system is cytochrome C, which is shuttling between the complex 3 and the complex 4. Okay, means accepting the electron from complex 3 will donate to complex 4, again it will come to complex 3. So that way it acts as a shuttle system. Okay, so 4 electrons will transfer. So the other name of the complex 3 is, what is reducing here? No, sorry, what is oxidizing here? Coenzyme Q or ubiquinol. Okay, because cytochrome B is accepting the electron from ubiquinol. So the ubiquinol is oxidizing here and cytochrome C is reducing. So the name of third complex is also known as coenzyme Q or ubiquinol. Ubiquinol, cytochrome C, oxido reductase. Okay, first we'll write the compound name which is oxidizing, and then we'll write the name of compound which is reducing. So ubiquinol, cytochrome C, oxidoreductase, and again we are getting here the 4 proton in the. Okay, so now we'll talk about the complex 4. The electron from cytochrome C will be accepted by cytochrome A and finally to A3. So cytochrome A, A3 are the part of the complex 4. Okay. Apart from, like we had already discussed, this cytochrome also has a heme group which is having the ion Fe. Okay. So apart from iron, this complex 4 also has a copper. Just we need to remember that. Okay. So from cytochrome C to cytochrome A and A3, and during the transfer of this electron from complex 4, the energy, again the energy will release, because all the components are arranged here in the decreasing order of their energy state. So as the electron will move from one component to another, some sort of energy will release, will get free energy, and this free energy will pump the proton. Okay, so here we'll get the 2 protons. 2 protons will be pumped from matrix to intermembrane space. Okay, so complex 1 4 protons, complex 2 no proton. Okay, complex 3 again the 4 protons, and the complex 4 has a 2 protons. It will pump the 2 protons from matrix to intermembrane space. Okay, so the path of the electrons are from NADH to FMN, FES in the complex 1, and in the complex 2 FAD to FES, and from both the complex it will finally come to coenzyme Q. Coenzyme Q will reduce to ubiquinol, and from ubiquinol to complex 3 where the BFES C1 4 protons will be released, and will come to second shuttle system. This is the first shuttle systems. This is the second shuttle systems which will accept the electron from 3 and will pass to 4. Okay, and in the fourth complex cytochrome A, A3 is present, and finally that electron will be accepted by oxygen. Okay, so the oxygen is also known as a final acceptor of electron transport chain. Okay, so now from here you can easily see that how much oxygen is important. If the oxygen is not available, this cycle will not take place. If this cycle will not take place, will not get again this FAD or NAD. If FAD and NAD will not available, so during the various catabolic process will not have the electron acceptors. So all the process will stop. Therefore, in the aerobic respirations, oxygen is very important because it is the final acceptor of electrons. Okay, so finally it will reach to oxygen and it will combine with the protons, and finally we will get here the water molecule. Okay, so this is the path of electron in the electron transport chain. If the question is asked about the components of electron transport chains, so only these 4 are the components of electron transport chain. Complex 5th, that is ATP synthase, it is not the part of electron transport chain. Okay, got it? Now what will happen with this proton? Okay, actually lots of protons will accumulate here. Okay, so here we will have the electrochemical gradient because lots of positive charge will accumulate in the intermembrane space. Okay, so we will have the electrochemical gradients. Here we will have the high concentration of hydrogen ion, and in the matrix region we will have the low concentration of hydrogen ions. So from high concentration to low concentrations, electron will move from this 5th complex, that is ATP synthase. Okay, and when this proton, so not electrons, when these protons will move from the intermembrane space to matrix regions, this ATP synthase, it will help in the generation of ATP. That we will talk in next class. Right now, you just remember one thing. When 3 proton will pump from intermembrane space to matrix regions, there is a generation of 1 ATP. Okay, so for generating the 1 ATP, 3 protons will, or it will need the 3 protons to generate the 1 ATP molecule. Okay, so now let us see how NADH and FADH2 will produce the energy. We know that NADH will produce the 1 molecule of NADH will produce the 3 ATP, and 1 molecule of FADH2 will produce the 2 ATP. So how? Why there is a difference? Okay, so as we had already discussed that NADH will donate its electron to complex 1. Okay, so complex 1, 4 protons. Okay, then from complex 1, pathway for the complex NADH is from complex 1 to 3 to 4. So from 1, 4 proton, from 3 again 4 protons, and here 2. That means 10 protons. Okay, so electrons which are moving from the NADH, it will help in transferring the 10 protons from matrix to intermembrane, right? 10 protons. And as we had right now, just I have mentioned that to generate the 1 ATP, 3 proton required. So out of 10 protons, we'll get 3 ATP. Okay, so how much protons NADH is contributing in the intermembrane space? NADH contributing the 4 plus 4 plus 4, sorry 4 plus 4 plus 2, that is a 10 protons. When the electrons are moving from NADH to finally the oxygens, 10 protons are moving from the matrix to intermembrane space. And right now just I mentioned, when 3 protons will move from the intermembrane space to matrix regions, 1 ATP molecule will generate. So out of 10 protons, 3 ATP will generate here during the transfer of electron from NADH. But as FADH2 skips complex 1, it is directly donating its electron to complex 2. Okay, so let's count how much protons are transferring from matrix to intermembrane during the electron transfer from FADH2. As it is directly donating its electron to complex 2, so here we are getting 4 plus 2 means 6 protons. Okay, from during the transfer of electron from FADH2. So 3 protons will come here. So 3 protons, 1 ATP, again 3 proton, 1 ATP. Okay, so how much ATP we are getting here? 2 ATP. Okay, so this is the reason why we are getting the 3 ATP from 1 NADH molecules and why 2 ATP from 1 FADH2. Okay, again I am repeating, NADH, it's donating its electron to complex 1. Okay, so if we calculate, we are getting the 10 protons. So out of 10 protons, 3 ATP will generate. But as FADH2, it is transferring its electron to complex 2. Okay, so we are getting here just 6 protons from transfer of electron from FADH2. Therefore, it will help in the generation of 2 ATP molecules. Okay, everything is clear. 4 complexes are there. Yeah, we forget the name of this complex 4. This complex 4, the name of complex 4 is complex 4 is also known as a cytochrome C oxidase. That is a one name, cytochrome C oxidase, or it is also known as a cytochrome oxygen oxidoreductase. Like right now just we had discussed that the substance which is oxidizing, we will write its name first. So it is cytochrome oxygen oxidoreductase. Okay, cytochrome oxygen oxidoreductase. So these are the 4 complexes of electron transport chain. Okay, and about this complex 3 we'll talk in a detail in the next class, because the complex 3 cytochrome from complex 3 accepts 1 electron at a time. Therefore, to transfer the 2 electron, 2 steps are required. This is actually the 2-step reaction. So that is a Q cycle, and the Q cycle is very important exam point of view. So about the complex 3 we will talk in a next class. Okay. Okay, this is one thing. The second thing, the NADH which is present here, it is actually in the matrix region, but we are also getting the NADH in the cytosol, like in the glycolysis pathway we are getting NADH in the cytosol. Okay, so the electron from NADH which is present in the cytosol, it will transfer here by the 2 shuttle systems. Okay, glycerol 3-phosphate shuttle systems and malate aspartate shuttle system. So we will talk about that also in the next class. Okay, 2 things we will discuss, that is the Q cycle and the shuttle systems, which is very important again in the exam point of view, and then we will discuss the ATP synthesis. I hope everything is clear. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. Thank you.